Good morning. I'm just leaving. You can probably see behind, look. The sun's in my eyes. I'm just leaving Socorro. I've had 3 nights here. Really enjoyed them. I really have. I feel well rested. Mind you, I felt pretty good getting into Socorro, obviously. I've got about 160 miles left of the trail, so I'm carrying quite a bit of food, although I'm hoping to stop at it looks like there's a convenience store. It's a little place called thru-hike, so I'm hoping that I can just restock my supplies there. So that's about as much as I can tell you at the minute. It's going to be a hot day and it's going to be an exposed day. I've got 2 wilderness areas left to go through. The Manzano Wilderness, which is a mountain range, and then right at the end, the Sandia Wilderness, which is another mountain range. Well, that's my first view of the Rio Grande, and boy did I make the right decision in coming the Socorro way. If you saw my earlier video, the recommended route is to go up to Magdalena, but then you've got to wade across this. I knew it'd be high. Look at this. That's way over what, well, I've seen videos and it's usually nowhere near as wide as this, and just look how fast it's going. You ain't wading across there, I'll tell you that for nothing. This is a really surprising, lovely walk through this Socorro Valley. Basically there's a 5-mile walk. Look at these, I think they're lilies, not lilies, are they? You follow the Rio Grande for about 5 miles to get to the bridge to cross over it, but it's lovely, really pleasant. I've got a bit of shade as well because I won't have much for the rest of the day. That's the RV park. There are some water standpipes at the far end where the hookups are. I've just been and topped up my water. It's literally just before you cross the Rio Grande. I think it's called the Escondida RV Park, something like that. I'm not 100% certain. I'll put it at the bottom. Well, that's the Rio Grande, and I'm obviously on the bridge crossing it. And I think it's fair to say you ain't wading over that. You are not wading across there. I mean, I have seen videos on this, and it's got to be nearly twice as wide as what it usually is, so God only knows how deep it is in the middle. I definitely did the right thing going to Socorro. There's a nice look back, that's Socorro. You can see it in the distance. They're the Socorro Mountains. And if you look behind the Socorro Mountains, those darker ones, they're the Magdalena Mountains. That's what I came up and over to get to Socorro. Oh, this is not fun. Jesus Christ. Well, I've made it to Stapleton Windmill. This looks like an old ranch. There's the windmill, and this is the water. Look, this is really good water, by the way. And look at that, but you don't get that, you get it straight from that pipe. Look, that windmill is pumping that water up from underground, look. That doesn't need to be filtered. That's good water. Right. Well, apologies for not doing much videoing today, but I think you know the reason why. It's been blowing like holy hell. It's not too bad now, it's still blowing a bit, but the terrain's been pretty flat. I'm about 16-17 mile in for the day. It's nearly 2 o'clock, so I'm just going to keep pushing. It's lovely, it's nice and flat. There's been a tool track or a dirt road to follow most of the way, but that stops now because I've got to work my way across there. Look, I've got some navigating to do because it's cross country from here for a good bit, so we'll see how I get on. Right, I've just made it to the solar well, which is supposed to be a good water source, and there it is. So, but I will need to filter that. Look, it's a bit cloggy. I don't need much. I'm just going to drink about 1.5 litres and then refill it, and then I'm going to sit under there and have a biscuit in the shade and see if I can work out how far I want to get today, and see if I can find somewhere that looks okay to camp. Well, the sun's not far off setting. There's a windmill there, so I'm guessing there's going to be good water. I've not been over and checked, so I'll check it first thing in the morning, but there's quite a few cows about, so I'm guessing there's a good water source there. And as you know, it's been really windy today, so I've buried myself in all these trees here to get out the damn wind, so I should sleep okay tonight. I've had to move the cows out like that, but there you go. I shall see you in the morning. This is the water source I mentioned last night. I literally camped just over there in them trees, look, about 100 yards maybe. Obviously it's not windy now, so that's not bringing any fresh water up, so I'm having to filter it. It's nice and clear actually. It looks a bit manky, but no, it comes out really clear. Good water source. Right, there's another water source just further up the trail. It's a lady's house in the middle of nowhere, so I'll probably be stopping there. I did just over 29 miles yesterday, so I'll be looking for something similar, maybe not as much, but something similar. This is where I start a bit of cross country. I'm about 3 miles in maybe. I've just left the dirt trail from excuse me, from over there. Like I say, I've got, I don't know, a few miles across country to sort out now before I get to my next water source. Doesn't look too difficult. I guess that this cross country is because of that fence there. Look, that's obviously private property the other side of there. So, excuse the sun, but I'm going up and over that ridge at the very top. Carry on for a bit, then turn left, which is back north. Right, I'll show you the view from the top if there is one. Well, that's the reason for the detour. Obviously, it's a national wildlife refuge. Area beyond that is closed, so that's why I'm doing a detour. This is the view from the top. That's looking back. That's that dark mountain that you can see, the ones that start, that's the Magdalena Mountains where I came up and over. You might make out the lighter one just in front. That's Socorro Mountain. Basically that's Socorro's at the bottom of there. And I think I've just got my first view of the Manzano Mountains. I'm not 100%. But that's where I was walking, look down there in the bottom of the valley, bottom of the valley there. Now you see that mountain right in the distance, the dark one. Middle of the picture about now. I'm pretty certain that's the Manzano Mountains. I've got to get up on top of there, and then I've got quite a long ridge walk. That's my destination, I'm quite sure of that. This is where I drop down. And I'm basically following a bearing there, look, middle of the picture towards there. I'll keep in touch. Finally got across country. Took me longer than what I thought actually. It took about an hour and a half, so I'm just going to have a quick bite to eat and sort my shoe out. And then I'm back on a dirt road, so I should be able to pick my pace up. There's a house in about 1.5 to 2 miles further up the road with a spigot that you're allowed to use, so I'm going to have a good drink here, then I'm going to knock on the door and see if I'm okay to top up. Yeah, I'm more sure than ever. There the Manzano Mountains, look. That's my destination. And again, that's just not an up and over. I'm going to get up onto there and I've got quite a long ridgeline to walk. Take me over a day, day and a half maybe. Maybe longer. Another great water source. It's in the middle of nowhere like, but I found it. Right, probably my last water source of the day. I've got another cool story to tell, but I'll probably tell it in about an hour because I stopped for a biscuit. But my mileage has not been good today whatsoever. I don't think I've maybe got 10 or 11 mile in, and it's about 3:45, so I need to get a move on. But it's all cross country pretty much, so I can't be going that fast because I have to keep navigating and checking my position. So I've just come, since my last video, that water stop, about a mile cross country, and then I picked this trail up and I've done about 2 miles down here, so I'm pretty good now, mileage wise. Been pretty flat. Spin you round, that's where I'm headed, look. That's Highway 60, but they're the mountains that I'm heading for now. They're the Manzano Mountains. I'm going to cross this highway, and then again it's a good bit of cross country for a while, but I'm going to stop and have a biscuit first. A few little caves up there, look. Should be coming to another water source. Next quarter of an hour or so, and I might start looking for somewhere to camp. Not the best water source, but a little bit further up it was flowing a bit, so I took about half a litre. Left the stagnant stuff alone. Find somewhere to camp now. I'm right at the side of a train, like there's 2 trains just gone by, look, see up there? So I'm hoping to get underneath that bridge and far enough out the way so I don't get woken up by damn trains. Okay guys, I don't really have long because I've got to get something to eat, but it's cowboy camping tonight. Trail's kind of over there. I've obviously had a late one, but I've got a problem, and it's quite a big problem. But I've got to get a flyer in the morning. I've got to be up and early, so as soon as I can, I shall stop, have 10 minutes and explain what's been going off. See you later. Good morning. I may be about to get a sunrise. I've been going for about an hour. Trying to make some miles. So last night, about 7:30, at the end of this is me looking back. I've just come through here. I came to a gate. I took a photograph. I'll put it up for you. With signs on like this, but a lot more aggressive. And I'm like, now what the hell do I do? Check my map. That was where I was supposed to be. I'm supposed to be following this dirt road. Like I say, it was 7:30. It was getting late. Also, there was a trail camera. In fact, there's a trail camera here as well, look. So he's just picked me up. Can you see that camera there? Oops, excuse me. back there, look, so there we go. So yeah, that's probably just picked me up walking past. And there was also a trail camera down at the other one, so I didn't know what to do, but it was 7:30, so I walked round so the trail camera didn't pick me up. Obviously that one has. And I rejoined the trail about half a mile up. I had no idea how far this band went. If it went right to the top of the mountain, I just thought, well, what do I do? I've flown 5,500 miles here, what the hell do I do? So I took a chance. I walked till it got late, cowboy camped in the dark, got up at 4:30 this morning, and I've got here. This is about 4.5 miles from where I started last night, so hopefully that's the end of it. But they have got me on trail cam, and I can get up there now. I'm about 5 miles from the water source, and I really need that. I really need it. So I shall catch you in a bit. That's where I'm headed at some stage today, I hope. Manzano Mountains. I'm in the foothills at the minute. I'm about 5 miles from that water source where I'm going to stop, get plenty to drink if I find it, and then get my breakfast when I get there. Well, I found the spring. There he is, the little beauty. I'm going to sit and have a good half hour because there's benches back there. I'm just through there, look. We might be able to make my rucksack out. There's a bench there. There's a little tiny trailhead with some rubbish bins, so I can get rid of my rubbish. Then I can start my climb, but I'm going to have a good maybe 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour. I've done a good few miles and it's only 8:30, so I'm going to take a good break here because I've got some steep stuff coming up. But I'm so pleased about that water. Damn, I needed this. So I'll just fill you in on what happened yesterday. Like I said, I got a cool story, but I didn't get time to tell it yesterday because I was I was trying to make some miles up, and then I had that problem last night going into that area that didn't really want me to. So I mentioned yesterday that I was looking to get some water from a house where a lady lived. Just knock on the door and be polite and she'll let you get some water. Well, I got to, bloody flies. So I got about a quarter of a mile away, half a mile away, and I couldn't see any house or anything. So I thought, what? And then I came to a big cattle, full of cattle, like a compound with a big RV there. Not an RV, like what they call a fifth wheel out here, what we call a trailer, what you hook up and take away. I thought, well, maybe this is it. So I'm stood there, I got my map out and I had a look, I thought, nah, according to my map, it's another quarter of a mile, half a mile further up. And I'm literally stood on the cattle grid and I heard an engine. So I looked up and there was a pickup coming towards me. I thought, oh, there's a rancher. So I'm putting my stuff away and he stopped. He stopped on the cattle truck, like he pointed to the car door, so I opened the car door. Anyway, it was the rancher. He was just coming to sort his cows out. So we had a 5-minute chat. And he says, it was his house, by the way, back there. I says, oh, I'm looking to get some water, blah, blah. He says, yeah. He said, well, you can walk now or you can jump in the pickup and another 5 or 10 minutes, I'll take you up. I says, oh, OK, I'll jump in the pickup. I've got loads of questions. He's a rancher. So I gave him on to mess about with his cows, which were good, feeding him some pellets because apparently the grass was a bit dry, so they need more protein. So he put some pellets down for him. So I gave him a hand with that. Went back to his house. What a pic! It was a ranch. It was gorgeous. Like adobe walls. It was absolutely gorgeous. Parked up round the back. Took me into his kitchen. Met his wife. His name was Ernest. Like I say, his wife's name is nice. His wife's name was Rhonda. And I was there an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, just in the kitchen, just sat talking. And I had a load of questions for him. And he, obviously, I'm from England. He had questions for me because they were from their relations. Going back 3 or 4 generations, they were from England originally. Anyway, he said, oh, we've always wanted to go, blah, blah, blah. But that was the cool story. I mean, how they just took me in and they offered me everything as they do. But he used to be, 30 years ago, he used to be a cabinet maker. And you should have seen the inside of this house. It was like all open plan. Even the fire, like I got like an adobe thing round it, you know, a big open fire that you put your stuff on. But his cabinets and his cupboards and his kitchen all fitted beautiful, and he'd done the lot himself. Big stone flagged floor. What a gorgeous place. There's the dirt road that I came in on this morning. Well, this morning, 40 minutes ago, hour ago. Just follow it back, look. The Highway 60 is out there. A good way out there. Like, I came in from them hills there, look. You see those hills in the middle of the picture now? I came in from there this morning. I cut across, picked that dirt road up, and then followed it up here about 2 miles to the trailhead. And then this is where I am. Lovely views. So that's me entering the Manzano Mountain Wilderness, Cibola National Forest. Yeah, another one. Been a good climb though, I've got to be honest with you. Great trail, no problems at all. That's the best tasting water I've had for a while. That's spring fed, that's a spring. So is that one down there, look. I've not touched that, I've just sat here and drank till my belly's full and then filled up. I've had to drop down quite a way, like from the trail. But then you have to, because this is a ridge. I'm on a ridge trail at the minute, there's no water up there up the top. Got to find these springs. Well, that's the first chance I've had really to look back to where I've come from. And this ridge, it's over 20 miles long. I don't think I'm halfway. Like I said, I don't know. I've not sat and worked it out. But this is a burned area, obviously, so I've got a bit of a view. Back there, I've got nothing but forest, as much as I love it. That's the view looking east. Well, I can see for miles. Now, can you remember me just saying, I don't think I'm halfway? Well, that's what I've got to negotiate. Look, I've got all that's in my future. Yeah, I've got a lot of work yet to get through this. There's my pitch for the night. Another late one. But that's the view there, facing east. So with a bit of luck, I'll get a really good sunrise in the morning. See a long way. I don't know how much the camera's picking up, but I can see forever.